Without doubters, there would be no one to prove wrong. They didn't believe we could reinvent cell technology.
It's really quite impressive what y'all have put together here.
And they didn't believe we could make 5G work.
If we listened to them, we wouldn't have 5G.
There's always the old way of doing it, and perhaps a newer, better way of doing it.
Saying yes when everyone else is saying no is the lifeblood of Qualcomm.
Qualcomm was investing in 5G many years before it was actually defined.
The consensus was millimeter wave wouldn't work for mobile.
Everyone's agreed.
They thought your antennas would make the phone too bulky.
First they said 5G wasn't possible, then they said it wouldn't be practical, and then they said it wasn't necessary.
We're always going to have critics. You don't get 5G-enabled phones, connected cars, smart factories, or create millions of jobs by listening to those who tell you something can't be done. You get that by proving it can.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Qualcomm President Cristiano Amon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I'm very pleased to be here. This is exciting time for Europe and for the world. Also, exciting for me. It's the first time Qualcomm has an IFA keynote. And this is a very important show for the industry, and we're very happy. The reason we're also excited is because 5G is here. We are extremely proud to be part of bringing this amazing technology to the market this year in 2019. Our company for the past 30 years have been inventing technologies to transform how the world connects, computes, and communicates. But the year of 2019 is a significant moment because it will fuel a new era of innovation and significant growth for the wireless industry, even beyond the traditional applications that we know today. And commercializing 5G will present those new opportunities to all of us, going from smartphones to everything. 5G is going to lead us to a future where everything will be connected and intelligent. And the way to think about this is everything is going to be connected to the cloud. And as you bring things to the cloud, you bring to the edge devices the power of the cloud. So you think about the unlimited access to data, plus the computing power of the cloud. You can connect those things and you get to artificial intelligence and machine learning applications into about everything. So it's about having connected devices with the ability to benefit from artificial intelligence and higher capabilities of the cloud. That's the reason that we believe in the 5G transition. 5G and AI will evolve side by side. And that will create an era of accelerated innovation, transforming virtually every industry. We'll create new jobs, will change productivity, and improve significantly the experience of the mobile devices to enrich our lives. And we would like to share a little bit of that with you today. And I will start by answering the question, what is 5G? Every generation of wireless came to solve a problem. Or the better way to say it is to meet an industry demand. So when we started with 2G, it was about going from analog to digital. Can we create a technology that allow everyone on Earth to have a portable telephone? When we moved to 3G, it was about understanding that there was the emergence and the growth of internet. Could you bring data and connect the device to the internet? In 4G, then we have a much bigger transformation. It was the transformation not only on wireless to embrace mobile broadband, but also to change the computing paradigm from desktops PC to bring computers to the palm of your hand. And with that, I don't have to tell you about how pervasive and profound the transformation caused by 4G in our society, bringing social media, ride-sharing services, streaming media, etc. The problem that 5G came to solve is the understanding we have today that everything wants and will benefit from being connected. That's the reason that is a good comparison, and we've been saying that since the beginning of this journey, that is a good comparison with electricity. We will talk about 5G use cases today, but we don't talk about electricity use cases today. We just assume it's there. And that's how we're going to think about everything being connected. It's how to build connectivity for a connected world as pervasive as electricity, from smartphones to everything. Build connectivity for users that want fast, unlimited data, and for services that are going to continue to evolve, taking advantage of the power of the cloud. High performance, multi-gigabit connectivity that is responsive, always available, and reliable. That's the promise of 5G. And that is the reason that we can move from smartphones to then PCs, the automotive industry, manufacturing, connected enterprise, smart cities, scaling to billions of devices that will benefit from the technology. And I want just to summarize by saying that this is a moment that it's the great moment for the telecom industry, because in every other transition of wireless, that was part of the telecommunications industry. We still refer to 3G and 4G as a technology for the telecommunications industry. 5G is different. 5G is now essential and part of the automotive industry, the Internet of Things, the telecommunications, the energy industry, and so forth. And that is the biggest opportunity, also how we should think about the development of this technology to support its multiple use cases. And when we think about user experiences, 5G will transform the user experience. I mentioned the transformation of 4G with the smartphones, but 5G will be significantly better than 4G. And therefore, the transformation of the industry will be as relevant. When you start with the popular applications we use today, browsing, social media, video streaming, and you compare the performance of what we do every day with our phones with 4G LTE, we see improvements in the order of 3 times or more. But the improvements are across all aspects of the user experience, because we started to have more responsive device with low latency, and we bring the cloud closer. And what that really means is the transformation of those services that we use every day. And I'll start by mentioning video. In 4G, across all of the devices we have, we stream music. And now we take that for granted. Not only in our devices, also in our car. I'm sure there's few of us that bring CDs to the car these days. And 4G was able to have enough coverage in performance for you to stream music. 5G will be the platform for distribution of video, and streaming video at high resolution video in mobile devices and every other screen. 5G will be the principal and the main platform for that distribution. It will modify social. When we think about social, we're thinking about the ability to share information and get notifications. 5G will introduce the element of virtual presence and fundamentally change social interactions. As devices could also change, and the goal is the technology could enable the virtual presence between real and virtual, people interacting directly. And you can think of many applications you can have even beyond consumers with that. It will drive augmented reality. The processing power of the devices in the cloud, the low latency allow that technology to finally materialize and scale. And one that is my favorites, and I will talk about that later in my presentation, is the experience of cloud gaming, which will finally bring mainstream gaming to the mobile ecosystem, as we started to see signs of the transformation today. But it doesn't stop there. it's very likely, as we see in the industry, that form factors will change with 5G as it changed with any other technology transition. It's about bringing a more immersive experience to the users, making the benefits of that you are now connected with the cloud 100% of the time in a reliable manner. That will change devices. We see the emergence of foldable screen with larger, surface areas. And with that, we'll see the emergence of the super apps. We are seeing today a consolidation of what are the key services that people use it on their phones. And the apps now, they become more and more powerful. As you enable them with 5G, the apps have the unlimited processing power of the cloud. You have access to unlimited data. Therefore, we started to see rate of improvement on the apps more than we see on the OS. And that is another shift in their industry that will create a lot of choices as we basically see the new experiences being driven from the cloud as you are connected with the cloud 100% of the time. And that's a great opportunity. So now I want to tell you where we are in the global deployment of 5G. It is a global phenomenon right now, and it's moving very fast. So to make a comparison, when we started the transition of 4G, we have 4 carriers and the few devices in the first year in a very limited geography. And that's how we started with 4G. Now compare to where we are in 5G right now. Is for the first time, a wireless transition is happening simultaneously in all leading economies in the world. United States, Europe, Japan, Korea, Australia, China, and many others are building 5G networks, and they're building within the accelerated program in 2019. Over 20 operators in 10 countries, which more to be announced this year. Over 20 plus, over 20 OEMs launching devices within 2019. And the number of operators that are launching 5G are operators that today are responsible for 2.2 billion mobile subscribers. This is an impressive milestone in many aspects, and I would like to break that down for you. The first one is the understanding that 5G has an impact in the society and in the economy that is just beyond faster smartphones. Therefore, it is now understood as a technology that is part of the digital transformation of many industries and is about maintaining a competitive economic environment. That has been understood, and that's why this has been raised in importance across many geographies. If you do, the other reason this is significantly impressive when you do a comparison. When 4G was launched, it was by operators that only cover about 120 million subscribers. When you compare that with 2.2 billion, we're there in the same time span is a significant metric that indicates how fast this transition is going to be. And when we think about our role as enabler of industries in a model, a horizontal model, that it's about partnering with many companies in this ecosystem, from operators to device makers, to application developers, to ecosystem providers. I want to use this opportunity at IFA to also reflect, when we look at this global rollout of 5G, of what we have done well as an industry and what do we have ahead of us to do. And I'm also very encouraged by the progress, but I think we need, to continue the effort in the intensity that got us this far. So we've done very well developing a global technology that is going to be deployed, across the globe and across industries, 1 year ahead of schedule to launch in 2019. That is just the first step. The next step is to build coverage. And coverage requires not only spectrum, but also availability of sites, investments in an effort to complete ecosystem. And I think that's where we are. And the announcements we're going to make at the show today is about how do we scale 5G. And I think that's now the next biggest milestone for the industry. Continue to add coverage, accelerate coverage, and then continue to optimize performance of the technology. And hopefully some of the announcements we're going to make at the show today will provide encouragement for many partners that we are ready to scale 5G. Now, I want to go back to Europe. And just focusing on Europe, this is amazing as we look into leadership in many European carriers to being not only first to 5G in many aspects, but how broad is the deployment of 5G that we're going to see within the coming months. Operators include British Telecom, Deutsche Telekom, Elisa, Sunrise, Swisscom, Telecom Italia, Vodafone, and that's only the beginning. But the best is also coming to Europe as we started to see the potential and the activities to roll out millimeter wave in addition to sub-6 and the bit bands. And that's how 5G is being designed as a technology. We need as much spectrum as we can get. And 5G is about having the new bands, the mid bands, the sub-6, is about deploying millimeter wave for the full potential of technology and reforming existing spectrum. And what we're going to talk about that today and some of these announcements is exactly how you can make that happen. And millimeter wave is becoming a reality also in Europe. A month ago, there was a testing lab in Europe to help manufacturers make devices ready to be commercialized, and we look forward to seeing those devices very soon. So as you think of this 5G journey, how do we get here? And this is the result of a multi-year journey to 5G. A journey that we're not alone. It's a journey of, an ecosystem and a journey of the mobile industry that is really, striving to get, this technology commercialized in 2019. It's about the role that we play as a creator of standards to develop fundamental technologies for advanced connectivity and high performance lower computing, combining with the role that our many partners have in the industry with their collective R&D. Years of R&D that has started as back as 2016, prototypes, industry-leading creation of IP that help us drive the 5G global standardization process in collaboration with the ecosystem. And reminding of the key milestones in this journey, in early 2017, we work with field leaders across operators, infrastructure vendors, and device makers to accelerate 5G by a year so we could realize the benefits of this technology to the mobile ecosystem and other industries as soon as possible. We release a family of products, and the end result is what we call making the impossible inevitable. Through a lot of skepticism, 5G came in 2019, not with clunky devices that look like a test device, and people had to wait years until it became, a commercial device for a mature smartphone society that you're willing to buy now and carry with you every day. It came from a technology acceleration right into market with a very competitive flagship. And I like to point, as a remarkable feat of engineering, our joint work with Samsung on the Galaxy, S10 5G. Not only bringing the sub-6, but also millimeter wave in a commercial device with an all-day battery life. And I think that's the power of having a model which is not about one company, but it's about bringing a whole ecosystem together. And devices is what's going to help us scale 5G. Since that launch, in 2019, which is a result of a lot of work of many operators, infrastructure partners, and device makers, we're now seeing multiple devices come to market with 5G. And the number is now 150 global designs with Qualcomm 5G solution. Going from premium tier to starting to see mass market devices, building with our 5G technology and our modem to antenna RF front end. And there's no better validation of 5G leadership than actually seeing the devices in the market. And I think that's where we are, especially when we talk about flagship. Virtually every operator around the world that's launched 5G has launched with a Qualcomm Snapdragon-based 5G device. And starting with flagship devices, they could go, side by side with the flagship devices you have today for 4G in both how attractive the industrial design is, but the performance with all-day battery life. And that is the beginning of what is, the scale of an ecosystem. And what I'd like, 2 comments on this 5G transition. This is the first time that we got devices ahead of the network. And it's not by coincidence. It's because we now have a very mature smartphone user base. That's now our inseparable device. And we need to enable the operators to have that ecosystem ready so you can start providing new devices with dynamic spectrum sharing, which I'll talk in a little bit, and then you start building coverage. And we're very proud of what we'll be able to do as an industry and what Qualcomm was able to do to enable the device ecosystem. With that, we want to make a few announcements today. And I'll start by saying, when you think of 5G performance, the old metrics of performance or how modem technology works are no longer adequate. So one of the key announcements we have for this show is the expansion of our X55 5G modem platform and the expansion of what is the benchmark for modem performance to modem plus RF. The complexity that is required by the 5G technology across multiple frequencies, across multiple antennas with massive MIMO, and how you actually deliver on the promise of speeds and reliability require new benchmarks for performance that is across everything that happened on the digital side through the analog and the antenna. And that's how we're going to start communicating about modem performance. And the announcement that we're making today on the X55, I will break that down in 3 pieces. The first one, the X55 modem is going to be the modem performance for the Qualcomm next flagship Snapdragon solution. The second, the benchmark and features that you're going to see go beyond the performance that you could get on the modem by taking now a complete system approach from the modem to antenna. And the number 3 part of the announcement is a significant expansion of the feature set to accommodate a broad ecosystem of use cases. By the way, a few comments on the X55 that is worth highlighting is the fastest modem available in the industry with 7 gigabits per second performance is our 2nd generation Snapdragon 5G modem. When you talk about sub-6 speeds, we accomplished over 2 gigabits of performance in 4G. That's what we have done in 4G last year. Our 5G performance in sub-6 exceeds 4 gigabits per second. And the expansion of feature sets is no longer just about speed. First, and the most important one, is about extend coverage to every possible band that operators have so they can accelerate the migration of 5G with dynamic spectrum sharing. Dynamic spectrum sharing allows 5G and 4G devices to coexist, so you can start, distributing 5G devices. You can start upgrading your spectrum without having to clear the entire spectrum from the 4G users. And with that, you have a more economical and faster way to build coverage. It's about significantly improving throughput, reliability, and coverage using the combination of modem and RF to extend the radius of the cell site. It's about adding new capabilities, such as high power use cases for fixed wireless. And we have another announcement to make later today about that use case. It's about introducing now 5G roaming with broadband support and multi-SIM capability integrated with the front end. And all of this capability we're going to see in our second generation modem in devices late 2019. And the last comment about why are we so focused on using the broad basket of technologies from digital to analog all the way to the antenna is because it's about making devices not only with the best possible capability of the 5G technology, but also manage emissions of RF within safety standards, and giving operators also the ability to extend coverage with 5G so that the transition from 4G to 5G with existing sites is very easy. And I think that's what's really important about the feature set expansion and the new set of modem benchmarks for the X55. And that is the modem for next generation flagship Snapdragon. But the second announcement and the main announcement of the show today is how we're going to scale 5G. And I said at the beginning of the presentation, that is our next industry challenge. We launched this technology, but now we're committed to drive the proliferation of 5G across all device tiers. We want all of the users to have the benefit of this technology. And we're basically announcing today is that we're expanding 5G and bringing that to our 7 and 6 series Snapdragon. Building on the news, the integrated Snapdragon platform in the 7 series and the 6 series will be commercialized, and we're announcing for that commercialization in the 7000 series our integrated solution. I have here to show you, this is our first reference design. We have now 12 OEMs already engaged, and commercial readiness of that solution is at the last quarter of this calendar year. And that is our goal. We got to this point. We launched 5G. We want everyone to have it. And with this technology, the 7 series Snapdragon, 7 nanometer platform, our next generation AI engine, Snapdragon Elite Gaming, and our second generation 5G modem, we're going to bring 5G to scale with our many partners. We're very excited about that. And rather than you hear about me excited about 5G, I would like to bring somebody from the industry. It's my personal friend and somebody that is equally excited with Qualcomm about the potential of this technology, the new use cases, and how we're going to scale 5G. It's my pleasure to bring here to stage Dr. Alex Choi from Deutsche Telekom.
Hi, Cristiano. Thank you for having me
Thank
here.
you so
It's
much for
wonderful
being
there.
here. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, Berlin. Hello, IFA. Hello, 5G world. Now, our Deutsche Telekom's 5G rollout has started. So let's take a look. Two months ago, Telecom announced our 5G readiness. Today, our customers can experience live 5G. Berlin is a key part of our 5G rollout. 66 5G cells are now alive in Germany's biggest 5G cluster, over 6 kilometers square. 5G is also live in Bonn, Darmstadt, Cologne, and Munich, and Hamburg and Leipzig will follow in 2019. Overall, 129 5G cells are now live, and we plan to have more than 300 live 5G cells by the end of this year. And by the end of 2020, we intend to bring 5G to 20 biggest German cities. We, Deutsche Telekom, bring 5G with 1 gigabit speed to you. 5G is not just about the network. It's how you experience it. We are excited to put 5G in your hands with a range of exciting new devices, including HTC 5G Hub, already launched, Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 5G, and Samsung Galaxy A19 5G, and also Samsung Galaxy Fold 5G. They are coming soon. All four are enabled by Qualcomm Snapdragon A55 mobile platform with the Snapdragon X50 5G modem. Super collaboration with Qualcomm in lab and also in field testing was key to ensure the best experience with these devices on our 5G network, and be first with the early commercial 5G device launches. And then we just learned Qualcomm made a big announcement just before Cristiano, their new first integrated 5G so mobile platform that I also very much looking forward to see. So please visit our booth to find out more about all the 5G devices in our portfolio. 5G is more than just a new radio standard. It is the next generation of network for the digital society. It will enable a multitude of new use cases in a new era beyond smartphone. At our Hubraum Tech Incubator here in Berlin, we work with the startup community to develop new 5G-enabled experiences and applications and make them tangible. This year, we initiated a project with 18 startups from 9 countries in our prototyping program. The partners get early, fast-track access to our real 5G and edge computing infrastructure to validate and also develop their ideas and applications in categories such as AR, VR, robotics, or virtual gaming. Our goal is to support commercializations of selected solutions, ultimately bringing to the best possible experience to our customers on our 5G network. And what's edge computing? The basic idea is to bring the server-side computing closer to the user device. This enables the offloading of complex and latency-critical computation, including AR rendering from device to the edge server. Edge is an important part of our 5G strategy to enable new real-time services such as gaming, real-time translations, or mapping. We started MobileEdgeX as a spin-off company to drive edge ecosystem development. We are not experts in, for example, AR, VR device or content. So with MobileEdgeX, we co-create with the application developers, device makers, and other partners to explore and drive, for example, AR, VR experiences based on 5G and Edge. So let's do ARs. Fantastic AR experiences await for you. Earlier this year, Telecom and MobileEdgeX partnered with the Niantic, the creator of Pokemon Go, and Samsung Mobile to showcase the world's first edge-enabled multiplayer AR experience, codenamed Neon, as you see in the background. With the Pokemon Go, Niantic proved that AR game in real life can be amazing and also fun, and drawing thousands together at mass events. But to connect all those players with the 4G networks is difficult, and the fast action gameplay between players is limited. So it missed a true multiplayer experience where you interact in real time with the virtual elements and other players on your display. Now this is possible with the 5G combined with Edge. Another example, let's do VR gaming. The company Bree is one of our Huawei partners, and Bree created a cloud-based application that coordinates the activity of multiple players in full-body AR, VR suit, as you see in the screen. For a great experience, the movements of the different VR players needs to be synchronized, which requires a stable, low end-to-end latency in the area of 30 to 50 milliseconds. And Bree achieves this using the low latency of 5G and powered by Edge Cloud. Full body VR is especially suited for gaming. And as you can see, it's a full-on fun experience. For 2020, an anniversary celebration of Best Band in Bonn, we are developing an AR working tour. You will experience it on a smartphone with AR kits in phase 1, and it will have features such as real-time view of street right in front of you, courtesy of your phone's camera, with arrows directly overlaid on the way to show you where to go. Or contextual overlays telling you more about specific areas of interest. In phase 2, we want to have this on the smart glasses, so you can enjoy the more natural hands-free experience. So that led me to make a conclusion here. First, 5G network rollout with Edge has started. Second, amazing 5G experience are being created. And last but not least, 5G will transform the way we interact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's such a pleasure to have our partners here with us. And like I said before, not one company can do everything. It's all about building an ecosystem together. And I won't stay much longer on stage, but when we think about devices, and we just go back in Europe, we're very happy to see the lineup of devices with our Snapdragon chipsets. They're being launching in Europe. It's devices in the premium tier and across a large number of manufacturing, providing consumer choices and really validating that Europe is ready to scale 5G. But when we talk about devices, rather than me talking about it, would like to bring the industry leader to tell you more about what we can do with 5G. It is also my pleasure to introduce Dr. June Healy from Samsung to the stage to talk to you about that. Thank you, Cristiano. Thank you, Dr. Lee. Thank you for being here with us.
It's great to be here today to tell you about how Samsung and Qualcomm have worked together to defy barriers and launch the 5G era. At Samsung, we believe in uninterrupted mobile experiences that unlock human potential, improve people's lives, and flow seamlessly and continuously wherever you go. We can now achieve this vision because game-changing technologies like 5G have created the perfect environment for rapid innovation and change. I'm very proud to say that no company has done more to make 5G a reality than Samsung. Together with our partners, we have made 5G available faster than anyone thought possible. Today, more than 2 million consumers around the world can connect to 5G networks using Samsung 5G smartphones. And we expect that number to more than double by the end of the year. We move toward a world where smartphone is the essential gateway to a new generation of 5G-driven experiences by working with carrier partners to offer Samsung's first 5G smartphones wherever 5G networks are available. In just past 5 months, we have launched 5 new 5G smartphones: the Galaxy S10 5G, the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus 5G, and we just announced Galaxy A90 5G and Galaxy Fold 5G. I don't know if you had the chance to, take a look at our Galaxy Fold. So here's a peek. These sleek, slim, and powerful devices connect consumers to advanced 5G capabilities through cutting-edge design that Samsung has always been known for. Of course, this is just the beginning. We will continue to defy barriers in our quest to inspire passion for new mobile experiences. But we know we cannot do it by ourselves. Success requires open collaboration with partners who believe, as we do, in innovation without limits. There is no better example of the power of open collaboration than our partnership with Qualcomm. Together, we have been at the forefront of innovation and progress since the beginning of the cellular technology revolution. Extending beyond the smartphone, we recently announced the Galaxy Book S together, bringing the always-on, always connected experience that opened new mobile computing and transforming it forever. This truly is an exciting time. Here, at the beginning of 5G era, we are leading this industry forward by cultivating an ecosystem along the curves that will expand access and accelerate innovation stronger and faster. Today, we are combining Samsung's advanced features and design with Qualcomm's high-performance 5G chipsets to deliver unprecedented speed and connectivity through our growing portfolio of 5G-enabled products. And by harnessing the power of 5G and AI, we are pioneering experiences that are immersive, personal, and intelligent. With minimum latency and maximum reliability, 5G will give a completely new way of viewing experiences, from one-way streaming to much richer, personalized, and interactive engagement. Users can choose the viewing angles, replay specific moments, or catch the details that they may have missed. Ultimately, 5G will pave the way for safe, autonomous vehicles, ultra-productive smart factories, and precise robotic surgeons. It will change how people interact with the world by placing us in the middle of digital spaces built on augmented and mixed reality. The enterprise and manufacturing will never be the same, with 5G networks powering a variety of devices, such as PCs, industrial equipment, and more. And it will generate the data to create efficient and sustainable smart homes, smart offices, and smart cities. More than just the features on a smartphone, we need an approach to 5G that will fuel invention and transform our industries and our communities for decades to come. This is why we are working with Qualcomm and other industry leaders to bring 5G capabilities to more devices and create new experiences for consumers. Through open collaboration, we will maximize opportunities for invention and create a future filled with meaningful progress and change. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lee. We're very grateful for the continued and close collaboration between our two companies. Nothing can separate really Qualcomm and Samsung, especially in a new technology transition. So we're very, very proud of our partnership with Samsung. So now I'm back to tell you about experiences. So we went to this conversation about how much better what we do every day gets with 5G, how we're going to transform some of the existing services with 5G. But we expect to see new experiences coming to devices. And amazing experience by combining artificial intelligence, the ability to have more popular and more powerful multimedia, and think about immersive entertainment. The way to think of the smartphone, it has replaced many consumer electronic devices. When you think about the consumer electronics industry, one by one, many of those devices became incorporated as features in your smartphone. And why not continue to go down this trend as you have now the capability of 5G and AI? Snapdragon had a big role in making this possible, and that's how we think of the continued evolution of capability of our processors for those use cases. And I want to start with the second most popular use case after video, which is gaming. And we are at the beginning of a transformation. We have worked very hard to meet demands for gamers as we look at the mobile ecosystem as being prime for mainstream gaming. So first, I want you to show you a video. It's for China Joy, Asia's biggest gaming event. Please watch this video. phone was announced with Snapdragon Elite Gaming, and it's now available in Europe. Wednesday at IFA, ASUS Republic of Games 2 smartphone was launched. And it brings with the Snapdragon 855 the performance that is 855 plus. I almost forgot. So the Snapdragon 855 plus, it brings the performance that gamers want for their devices. And the message here is that we are, as I said earlier, at the beginning of this transformation. And Snapdragon Elite Gaming is how to bring PC console quality game to mobile devices. In the case of this device, we work with ASUS and Tencent to deliver an unparalleled mobile gaming experience. And as you think about what's going to happen next, high-speed 5G will allow you to first download high-quality games in seconds, but will bring a new era of gaming experience, as you can now also build on streaming of gaming as well as the computing power of the cloud. And with 5G and Snapdragon Elite Gaming, we're working very hard to make the next gaming console the last console. And that is one of the new transformations we're going to see. The industry, the entire gaming industry, like many other industries in consumer electronics, is now moving to the smartphone with mainstream gaming title. There's a lot more smartphone users for game developers, and that is the speed that we're going to see this transition, which I think it actually started with Fortnite. So we're very excited about that. And building on experiences, the next one is mobile computing. We have been relentless working to build a connected, always connected PC to users everywhere. And we have now, from building the devices with Snapdragon for all-day battery life and instant on and connectivity everywhere, now it's time to also bring that with 5G. And I want to leave you with the message. It's going back to the conversation of digital transformation. The improvements in the collaboration, in the creation, in productivity, more than pay for the cost of connectivity. It will create PC as a service and will be part of the transformation of the 5G connected enterprise. We never been more aligned with the future of Microsoft as a company than now with the always connected PC that drives the cloud-based power of Azure and many other cloud-based information systems with a PC that is 5G connected. And that will be the transformation of the enterprise experience. And if you want to know more about everything we're doing, I want to have a call out for our Snapdragon Tech Summit that is going to happen later this year. That's where we're going to detail many of the announcements made today. We're going to detail and announce our next flagship Snapdragon, provide a lot of user experience detail on our 7 series that will scale 5G, show you how we have our integrated 5G SoC, and yes, it's going to support both NSA and SA, if you were wondering. But before I move on, I have one more piece of Snapdragon news. We have at the show, very proud of a new partnership with Puma, and they're very kind to send me the device. This is the new Puma smartwatch. First full touch display powered with Snapdragon Wear 3100. And we're very excited for the Puma team. I recommend you to check it out. And before I get off this slide, I also want to say thank you, Puma team, to send me those nice Snapdragon red shoes. It has the Snapdragon logo on it, if you can see it.